Hello, friends. I'm Arthur Perkins. This is Apgamingreal. If you're looking to watch the D&D version of this show, you're going to need to skip ahead like 2 episodes on YouTube, because we're not playing D&D tonight. We're playing Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands, and this guy that's right above me ain't here tonight. He'll be back in 2 weeks. Next week, we'll be playing Made RPG, but we'll talk about that when the time comes. It's going to be crazy, but more importantly, these guys here need to remind me to help make their Made characters during the week, because that game takes a little bit of involvement. We're going to have to sit down. I'm going to have to individually help you guys make characters. And yeah, but tonight we're going to play sci-fi mecha dudes. Connor, why don't you start us off with who you are, what you do, something, something. I don't remember my own spiel.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Fill in the blanks. My name is Conorhughes. I'm a comic artist. We're just releasing White Ash Volume 1 on Kickstarter. That was what I've been up to lately for the last month or so. We actually just got the files to the printer today, all ready to go. So that's exciting. Hopefully the printer, knows what to do with them, and it goes well in that regard. Other than that, yeah, I'm doing some commissions and working on the next thing. And so that's where I'm at now.
Oh yeah, I saw your commission, dude. I saw your commission.
Sick. I saw you drawing it today.
I don't know. Wait, which commission are we talking about? Because I'm talking about this ice cream monster he's making for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it fucking looks delicious, man. I want to stab it to death and eat it.
Thank you.
Like, I assume when you, stab it in the head, the whole body drops down and it stops moving, and then you can, spoon the insides out, and you're like, oh, man. Tastes just like ice cream, but it's 20% more disgusting.
Well, I figure, if you want, I can put it up on the stream, but I figured that the
idea no, keep it secret. Keep it secret.
Keep it secret? All right.
Keep it safe.
Keep it safe.
Keep it secret, keep it safe.
Bearded knows what's up.
Yeah. Then I figure the way, because there's all kinds of little components, which I think is what you were looking for, and then he already comes with the spoon that you just mentioned. So
I just realized that my my task manager was open over the stream.
Choice.
My bad. Well, you guys know that I'm fucking maxing out that CPU tonight for you. 100% blaze it. I don't need it anymore. It can just set on fire. Please don't set on fire. Connor, when you're not designing ice cream monsters for me, is there anything else you're doing?
Lately, that's where I'm at, and that's what I like. I like designing ice cream monsters. It's really fun.
That is a narrow hobby. I feel like it's not one you're going to see a lot of use for, but okay.
Sounds delicious.
All right, Chaos, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm Robert Shepard. So online I'm PlanetKhaos. So PlanetKhaos is with a K. On Twitch and Instagram, you can find me as PlanetKhaos Art. I will be doing the game art for that game. I talked to that fellow this week, and so he gave me the initial list of creatures that he wants developed. So I'm finishing up my Death Dog, and then I'll start those creatures, and I'll be streaming all of them just like I do with all my art on Twitch. But yeah, there's I don't know, I got about 20 critters, creatures of different kinds that I got to draw up. So there'll be plenty to do. So finally getting started on that.
Sounds good.
Congrats.
Yep.
What's the first process going to be for that?
What's the process going to be?
What's the first process? What are you going to start out with doing?
Well, he's got the game mechanic is set up in 3 zones. So there's a tavern zone, a like a cellar zone, and then true caverns. So I'm going to be focusing on the cellar zone, the bad guys and the creatures that are going to be down there. So there's going to be some were-rat type creatures and some gelatinous type creatures and some other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Over to you, Bearded.
What's up, guys? I'm Bearded. I don't know if I want to do jalapeno or jalapeno, because everybody says jalapeno, but I'm going to do jalapeno for now. Anyways, Bearded, Jalapno. When I'm not on here doing commissions, and we just found a new place to live in, so we're getting ready to move like about an hour away. So that's taking up all my time.
So what kind of carpet did you get? You get a shag carpet?
No,
Style.
whatever the cheapest sale carpet was. Just trying to get some flooring in there. Right now it's just concrete. It's like we ripped all the old carpet out. So.
Oh man, you can go for that sort of old, like raw, industrial studio type of space.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'll have to do a couple more commissions for that, but yeah, that's what we're going for.
Cool.
Cool.
So bearded. AP, you got this new haircut, huh?
Yeah, I don't have a beard anymore. Look, I fucking went in there, and I was like, all right, look, bring my hair down to a 1/4 inch everywhere. All right, so he gets that done, and then he's like, trim the beard up. I'm like, look, man, every fucking time I come in here, for real, they take my whole beard off, so just clean it up. This dude took half my beard off, and then like all the way down here, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And then he's like, what if I clean up the mustache for you? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna allow it, but I'm gonna be upset if I don't have a mustache at the end of this. I feel like you did a good job with that. Then he's like, how about I trim your eyebrows? I was like, I don't think I've ever trimmed my eyebrows in my entire life. I didn't tell him yes. That's the only thing I said. And he was like, swoosh. And I was like, did you just trim my eyebrows right in front of me?
Eyebrow ninja.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This dude's a fucking wild man.
Every time I go in there, they take off way more of my beard than I want them to.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
Especially the sides. They're like,
all these motherfucking barbers are like, I want to make it look good. And I'm like, it looks good when I look like Gandalf, okay?
Right?
If I'm not at that level, I don't want no little fucking short beard.
Maybe
I want to walk in as Gandalf the Grey and come out as Gandalf the White.
Oh, boy. So, man, do we have anything to talk about? I don't know. All I got is complaints. Life sucks. I don't know if you guys follow my my like overarching stuff, but I'm planning a 40K game, and I'm like $400 in a product right now, and I like open a box and there's miniatures inside. Like on the outside, it's like pre-assembled miniature, and I open the shit up, and it's not pre-assembled. It's in like 4 parts, and they expect me to have a set of quality pliers and some glue, and I'm like, I don't have fucking pliers and glue.
Yeah.
Like I might have some wood pliers and some wood glue. It'll look like garbage. They're like, you can paint it. I'm like, I didn't start this hobby to paint shit. I play digitally online.
Yeah.
The only reason I bought this fucking box was for pre-assembled models so that I could bring it on stream. You know, like those people that have a ton of shit behind them whenever they start streaming, and they're like, yeah, look at how big of a nerd I am. Like I was gonna do something like that, but now I'm like, fuck this shit. Fuck Warhammer 40K. Like, holy shit. All right. So anyway,
you always get screwed over by Games Workshop.
Well, I'm like buying codexes left and right, trying to learn how to play the game. Tomorrow I might be playing my first session, but you know, I got to play like a bunch of sessions so I learn how to be better than the players. And then I got to find players, and it's so involved, and it's basically like I'm spending like 6 hours to 8 hours a day learning Warhammer 40K plus the lore. It's a pain in the ass.
Ridiculous.
I hope these motherfuckers that want me to play 40K respect the time that I'm putting in here.
They better recognize.
It's pretty involved. Yeah, it's pretty involved.
Yeah, it's definitely why
You should play Warhammer instead.
It's equally involved. Also, I obviously got a new mic, but I haven't gotten done adjusting and fixing it yet, so it'll probably be an all week or maybe even an all month thing. Apologies if you hear my cat running around, because this mic is supposed to be pretty sensitive. Or if you just hear me sucking down oxygen like I don't know if it's that sensitive yet, but we'll find out. Look, are we ready to get started then?
Suppose so.
Yeah.
Let's give it
All
a
right.
go.
Allow me to tell you about the Bantrol system. The Bantrol system is not at war. Bantrol was never, until recently, a wealthy colony. The planet had resources enough just to maintain its own small society, but none worth exporting. There was never any need for the corporate sponsors of its initial colonization to interfere with this administration. In the halls of Solar Union commerce, land shares on Bantrol traded for nothing. No cost, no gain. You might throw all of my land shares on Bantrol into a golf wager as a joke, or give them as a prank gift to a friend. Recently, though, there was a minor development in an obscure biochemical processing technology, and the novel features of Bantrol's ecosystem went from being a scientific curiosity to being an untapped and unknowably deep wellspring of wealth. Land shares on Bantrol are no longer an ignored asterisk on anyone's balance sheet. The handover of administration and power from the descendants of Bantrol's original Terran colonist to the newly interested legal rights shareholders, the self-proclaimed landowners, has been a cheerful, orderly, and mutually profitable. There have been a few isolated spats, of course, but there's been practically no protracted, bitter, bloody war of resistance between the displaced old Bantresh aristocracy and the off-world landowners. When a landowner uses the threat of violence to force a hereditary great family to give up their land, keeping them on as guides and entertainers, it's cheerful. When they offer them in exchange for a negligible sum, it's mutually profitable. When a fiery company of Bantresh irregulars responds by raiding their holdings and seizing arms and material against future battles, and local insurrectionists take advantage of the upset by forcibly occupying a biochem processing facility, and the landowners respond with ruthless crackdowns of martial law, these are a few isolated spats. To admit otherwise would be to invite intervention of the Terran Transit Authority's mediation and peacekeeping forces. Then no one would get rich from Bantrol but the TTA. That's the world we're going into. That's the politics, the central theme, the central tension, the premise. But really, this game is about pilots, it's about mechs, and it's about Mario Party. This game is about numerous small mini games that we will play. So we have 4 players. Our objective in this game is to create messy entanglements. Fall in love with your enemies, ally with your rivals, and fight with your friends. To start the game, we'll introduce our characters. Let's go ahead and do that. On your turn, choose a faction, 3 attractive qualities, and a name. We need at least 1 player for every faction, and we do have that. So, does anyone want to go first? And so we're all on Roll20. As you announce this stuff, put it down on the table so that, we know everybody's affiliation, we know their name, we know their qualities. Each of our factions will have sub-qualities. No one seems to be leaping at it, so I'll go first. My faction is the Bantresh. The Bantresh are the aristocratic families of Bantrol. You are a hereditary warrior prince of a noble family, a mobile frame ace pilot, and the off-world landowners have robbed you of your wealth and estates. You've been raised to believe that the wealth of Bantrol belongs to the Bantresh. Bantresh of the same family are your friends. Bantresh of different families are your rivals. The landowners and revolutionaries are your enemies. Choose 3 attractive qualities. Well, I'm cultured, passionate, and rich. Let me just write that down here. Cultured, passionate, rich. A name. My name will be Erik, E-R-E-K, and my family name will be Voss. Erik of House of Voss. My mobile frame is a custom built. All right, so it's kind of very organic looking. It has these large fox ear antennas that come off of it. It's got kind of that soldier helmet look to it, with a single great cycloptic eye. The body is kind of like a Bastion, but if Bastion from Overwatch was like curved instead of blocky. With a giant overhead shoulder gun, missile launchers everywhere, pretty sweet flaming sword, and jump jets. And of course it can go into space. And I call it the Fox Mark II. There's never been a Fox Mark 1, but don't worry about that. I have soldiers. That's it. That's who I am. Who wants to tell me about who they are?
I can jump in there.
Yeah, tell me more.
My name is Ken Kunoishi, and
What's your faction?
faction is landowners.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, I'm here to save your ass.
Are you, though? Are you?
Yes.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk.
Yeah, we will
talk.
talk about it. Yeah, I'm educated, friendly, and striking. My mobile frame is a military model. It's pretty new. You know, I've got the latest investments from back home. I guess it's Earth in this universe.
I mean, if that's where you're from, right? So it isn't mentioned up front, but the change that makes the Bantrol plant, crystalline Bantrol, so nice is that it cryo freezes stuff during universal transport. So it's implied that there's way more than just Earth out there, right? Because we're in a totally different solar system.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're from Earth, don't let me stop you. What's your company name, unit designation, squad call sign? Like, are you a squad leader, or are you like the CEO of Heavy Industries, Stark Tech?
I'm the executive branch of StarTech.
Stark Tech? Really? You're just gonna straight up steal that? Okay.
Well, I mean, yep.
Path of least resistance.
And so I'm here to execute the law. Basically, is what I'm.
Yeah, but the law works in your favor, right? Because you hold the land rights.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. So you've got a problem. You got a labor problem, and I've got
you've got a labor problem.
no.
I've got a solution. Okay.
We'll find out who has the solution and who has the problem. I don't know.
I
mean,
mean, it's your planet. You own it. What you need is someone to get these workers working, and it's not been working for you.
I think it's the. It seems like to me like it's the opposite.
You need Genie from Aladdin, and I am your friend in need.
We'll find out how true that is, depending
we'll
on
find out.
how the.
I am trying to
revolution
pre-sell
goes.
myself here. It is a little
Yeah.
shady. Go ahead and put all your stuff down on the Roll20 playing area.
I will. Yes.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
curious what's so striking about Ken here. Does he have like wolfen features, or maybe like a sick scar over his eye?
Sure. I mean, he's got that like kind of male ponytail situation going down.
Oh,
Like
okay.
long ponytail.
Well, I mean,
Long sideburns.
I really want to focus in on this ponytail. Are we talking what's that business in the front, party in the back thing? Is it a mullet?
No, it's like more like Faye. I think Faye had a
Okay.
ponytail.
All right.
So it's kind of like and then let's see. Yes, I mean he's an experienced mercenary. So and he's had these problems before. He's even experienced this kind of thing before, where he's have to come into a situation and dynamically problem solve using all the tools available to him, including guns. So
Okay.
that's where he's at.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. So I'm a revolutionary. My qualities are charming, inspiring, and generous. My mobile frame is a repurposed labor model. It's got like really thick legs. What else we got here? My
What's your name?
My name is Talana Khalil.
Okay, Talana Khalil. Go ahead and throw that down on the table here. I see
And
planets.
on my neck, I got like a
Struggling.
almost a like the Liberty statue, just to the hand with the flame on the torch.
Oh, it's like you have like an arc welder. Is that what you're like? You're an industrial arc welding machine that's been repurposed for war.
Pretty much.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I can't wait to fight you with my flaming sword. It'll be so badass. Anything else you want to share?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Planet, you say you're struggling, but I see stuff down here, and it looks pretty good so far. Why don't you hit me with what you got?
Starting off seems to be easy, but like going back and continuing, I'm struggling with this program.
Well, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Who
So
are
my guy's name is Roger Kincaid. So it's ROGR Kincaid. He's a revolutionary as well. His qualities: he's very down to earth, yet idealistic and resolute. His occupation is wildlife conservationist. So he is more of a labor force than a military force, but he finds himself in this position between a rock and a hard place, trying to define and defend the planet for the people and not for any single elite group. So I too use another model mech. It's in a disarray. It's very repaired, but it's a mismatch of stuff. Seems to focus greatly on missile launchers, no real extra turrets. And soldiers are my fellow revolutionaries.
So let me ask, you are the leader of your own group of revolutionaries. Do you know Talana? Are your revolutionary groups friendly, or are they at odds?
That's a good question. I would say that right now we're on neutral territory, so we know of each other, but we haven't yet crossed paths.
Okay, well, that's not a good place for revolutionaries to be.
Sounds good to me.
We have introduced our characters. To start, everyone turns to page 8 and plays the solitaire game. Is there anyone that wants to play first?
Yeah, sure, I'll play first.
Okay. So, the solitaire game is divided into factional. You can play it at any time. So if you don't want to participate in a game, or if you feel like it's important to say something's happening in the background, you can just flip back to the solitaire page, run through any questions you feel like answering, and come up with the stuff. And then at the end of whatever game the rest of the cast is currently playing, you can say, here's some stuff that happened with me while you guys were gone. So there's like 8 questions here. You can pick 1, 2, or all of them, and picking all of them probably is a bad idea.
And I have to pick based off.
You pick the answer.
My faction.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
you're on the revolutionary page, which is like page 11.
Been quietly building support among the people of your region.
Okay. Well, what happened there?
You are pleased with the armaments you've collectively amassed.
Cool. Sounds like you just had a windfall.
Yeah.
Any other questions you want to answer?
You've been overseeing the retrofitture of labor frames for combat. It was slow, filthy, and exhausting work.
Sounds tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Anyone else want to go next?
Yeah, I can go. So we how many do we pick from this?
As many as you'd like.
Yep.
I want to point out some of them have bad answers that will put you at a disadvantage, which isn't necessarily bad. Like, that's dramatic story-wise.
Okay, so I want to say I've been conducting surveillance of the off-world transit shipments and movements.
Oh boy, you're stealing from the landowners? That's a dangerous game. What happened?
Now, how am I stealing? I've been conducting surveillance.
Sure. Let's see how did your surveillance turn out?
I'm just trying to find out, what I'm really getting into, because being against 2 factions is not a good place to be. So the more intel I get, the better informed I'll be.
Yeah, but which of those 3 options are you taking? I'm going to tick, and I saw a friendly meeting between Bantresh and off-world officers, so that did not look good. Oh my goodness. Bantresh and off-world officers? Who knows what they could be scheming to? Uh,
I actually want to do another one. You've been raiding banned trash plants and warehouses for material, and you see the mobile frame of a night guard.
oh boy. Well, I mean, who are you going to give that frame to? I mean, you can't just abandon this frame that you've worked so hard on that Connor might draw.
I'm going to meld both of them.
Oh, you're going to like steal parts from it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll be my frame, and then
Now
I'll
it
kinda-
has 3 arms.
Yes.
and it just has armor plating mounted over its armor plating. Poorly welded on. Planet, what else you got? If there's anything else you want.
Yep. So I've been meeting with my spies in the local Bantress households.
Oh, snap. Why you keep infiltrating us? Okay? Why
He's good at it. Really.
why are you paying so much attention to us?
Gathering information.
Yeah.
Let's see. And let's see.
I think maybe someone was following you. I'm just going to throw that out there.
So, okay.
It's your
but not this
choice,
time.
but
Not
I'm
this
saying-
time.
I'm
Not this time.
Okay.
So, because I like this other one. So they told me, so my spies have told me that the noble heads of the family have sold out to the off-worlders.
I mean, I feel like maybe there was a misinterpretation there. Okay?
We're going to find out, huh?
That doesn't sound like the band Trish. Okay? Those noble families are always working for the people.
The mech Connor's drawing right now. That's the one I stole.
The Night Guard. What are you
information.
drawing, Connor? Let's go ahead and
Looks like Robotech.
I'm trying to piece together something for you guys. Don't
yeah, but
talk
we're
to
asking,
me.
like, whose mech is this?
No.
Is this just like a standard? Is this like one of your men's mechs? Is this one of our mechs?
The your mech?
Is it your
I
mech?
mean, I guess I was originally thinking about it as my mech, but
Yeah.
I haven't really figured it out.
I mean, it definitely looks like a military model.
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to create something a little bit sleeker because I feel like the revolutionaries are going to have something a little bit more industrial, bulky. The Vantral are going to have some really old mechs that just aren't that great, and landowners can be equipped with the top of the prime, prime models. So I figure to contrast those ones, like the landowner ones, we should be sleek and kind of a little more elegant. Even though I prefer sort of bulkier models, but yeah.
I mean, as landowners, you use standard military.
Okay.
You haven't had time to get nice models like us.
Top
and
secret
nobility.
stuff.
I'll go next. You've been entertaining interloping offworlders in your family estate, and they've proven to be gracious and easygoing, and you're warming to them. You've been training your soldiers, and your soldiers prove to be quick, flexible, and well-disciplined. You've been taking offworlders hunting, fishing, and touring through your family estates. They prove to be bright company, cheery, appreciative, and outgoing. As a band trash, I spend so much time with the offworlders and the landowners, trying to make them see the natural beauty of Bantral, appreciate what the nobles do for the world. Connor, why don't you tell us about those landowners and maybe, answer some questions.
Okay. So this is my solitaire turn?
Solitaire, landowner. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been doing that scouting that you were talking about.
Touring the
and-
region with the hired band trash guides.
Yes, that's right. Perhaps you were among that crowd. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I might, but there's some of these answers might make me worried.
Dun dun.
I was definitely struck by the marvelous vistas and untamed beauty of the
My
Banfield
goodness.
countryside.
I feel like I feel like there is a divide between us. The beauty of the world is the bridge between us.
And I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I was a little struck by the fact that some of the mechs have been going missing, as well as some of the other materials. So I figure there's an opportunity there where I can be of service, where we can see some kind of mutual benefit.
I feel like mutual benefit is a thing we can have with each other. Yeah.
Yeah. I've also been patrolling on my own, not just led by the Ben Trash guides, and
Garbage.
sorry.
No. Go. You go ahead. All the answers are bad.
Yeah, they are bad. A child did run up to me, screaming at me to go home. And
How did that make you feel?
This is the first time as a military contractor I've dealt with situations where there's a lot of civilians. This is a messy conflict compared to what Ken is used to. And he's doing a little bit of a double take on it. I mean, he still believes in the rule of law and applying that rule of law to wild Ben trash country. But, there are casualties and problems with this situation.
So look, I personally want to expand on Ken's backstory here. Was he like the owner of a mercenary company and Bantress shares ended up with him, and now he's like, oh, I got to take my company to my new planet now that it's worth something? Like, or was he like a career military man and on a joke purchased some banter? Like, when did he become head of this mercenary company? Was it before or after he gained his wealth?
He gained it in the process of this. This is like the path of many military people. I feel, not many people, some military people. They go private at a certain point, and they're able to use their skills much more successfully in the private industry, by selling them to pretty high bidders. And then eventually he's gone on his own, and now.
Now he can afford to buy other mercenaries because he's super rich.
Right. So I've got my crew, and we're pretty experienced, and we're affable folks. I mean, we could be talked to reasonably, but we will come to grips if things have to go to that way.
Planet, I love that you've named your mech the Jabberwocky.
I always like that name. So.
I'm gonna name my mech sword the Vorpal Blade now, just to make sure.
Totally.
Look, I'll even include a Snicker snack after Diamond Strikes.
Definitely not cursed.
Connor, you got any other questions you want to answer?
Like any more of these these duties? Okay.
Any more solitaire questions? I mean, again, you don't have to answer any more if you don't want to.
I'm just going to peruse them.
Very well.
Yeah, no, I'm good for now. Thank you.
Okay. From here on out, we will take turns around the table. We'll go in any order, but we can't go back around until we've done everybody at least once. Once we've gone all the way around, at any time, someone can say we're done for the night and we'll wrap up. I mean, obviously, I don't think we're going to do a full 4 hours of this. Like we might do another hour, maybe 2 if we get frisky. So there's 9 games to choose from. Solitaire obviously is an individual game. Probably we shouldn't pick that again. The other 8 are all you pick a partner or a partner picks you, and the audience, aka the rest of us, may or may not participate. Now some of these games involve voting. Now point out, because we have an even number of people and you have to play with a partner, that means we will need a tiebreaker. In this case, the tiebreaker will be chat. I will make straw polls. We'll have to wait, like 20 or 30 seconds for them to get around to voting, but they will be the ones to break any ties.
Cool.
So, our duties as we play easy, play fair, and always let other players make their own decisions for them. Get your character into messy entanglements with others. Whenever someone asks you a question about your character or the current situation, answer it. If you don't know the answer, make it up. You can get killed. If you do, make a new character, play a supporting character from anybody's side, or just be an audience member and ask questions. So, would anyone like to go first and pick one of the 9 games? Probably not Solitaire, though. That would be super boring. Animated disagreement, a chase, a conversation over food, a dance, a free-for-all, meeting sword to sword, stealing time together, tactical skirmish.
How about conversation over food?
Who do you pick?
I pick Planet.
Ask your chosen partner how the two of you came to be eating together. As an audience member in this particular scene, I'm going to ask you, where the hell are you?
Where are we?
Where are you?
I think we're meeting in the capital city, right? Is there one capital city? How
Sure.
big is this planet? Damn it!
It's not very big.
Moon-sized? Okay.
You know, it's we can talk about it. It's not very big. You know, it's kind of less populated. It's very rural. I wouldn't say rural. It's kind of like the American South in plantation days, kind of. You know, palatial estates, and then lots of people who don't own slaves, right? Like still living in little small areas.
Okay.
And then there's Atlanta, which is a super huge capital city.
Now, is there outright conflict, or is it tensions are growing?
Oh, look. Everyone knows there's no conflict on Bantrol. If there were conflict on Bantrol, the Transit Authority would show up. There might be some minor theft. I mean, I heard that a Night Guard's mech frame was stolen the other day, but that's probably just revolutionary propaganda.
Okay.
So Connor, I want to throw this out. If it makes sense, other characters may be present for the meal. They're eating openly in the capital at a restaurant. Yeah, well, you know what? I apologize. I'm saying a restaurant. Are you at a restaurant? Where are you eating? You're saying the capital. Are you eating at a secret headquarters? Is this like the revolutionary meeting? Are you meeting at like a corner cafe at a bar?
Probably like a hole in a wall specifically catered to revolutionaries, but they don't say that. They don't advertise it. Sort of a secret meeting area.
Let me ask, who's the live band playing? Are they thrash heads? Industrial metal? Is it like Mozart? You know, like freeform jazz fusion?
Oh, it's definitely karaoke. It's karaoke night.
Tonight's karaoke night.
All right. Now that I've asked all my annoying questions, we do need to answer the first question. How did the two of you come to be eating together? And that is for you to answer, Roger Kincaid.
We have heard of each other, and I thought it was it would be a good opportunity to get to know each other and talk to each other just to see if our agendas are in alignment. So this is a get to know you meeting.
Bearded, you have the comm. Conducting the conversation is your job.
Got it. And I just do topic questions?
Well, you start with picking who has the lower social standing.
I'll take the lower social standing then.
Okay. You ask questions first.
Okay.
You can see that the conversation is on the next page on 17 if you pick topical question or likely topics.
17.
It's one below 16.
Right. 17. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's do, I'll feel expansive. What do you want to know about me?
And then I just answer freeform. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you come with a reputation that might be similar to mine. I just want to make sure, in fact, it might be best if I tell you where I'm coming from to see if we're going to be coming from the same place. So as a longtime supporter of Bantris and whatever the plant name is, Bantrol, and the natural resources, I feel that the natural resources should belong to all of the people. We all lived here successfully before the big event. Everyone was happy. Everything was going along smoothly. And then after the big event, suddenly, everyone comes in and wants a piece of the pie. But I think as a people, we should all share it because, as a people, we've worked hard to build up what we have. And so this meeting is my hope to see that we're on the same agenda, or perhaps you have another agenda that I could help you with or assist you on.
And then do I answer freeform or I just pick another topical question?
I mean, you can engage in improvised conversation. That's your choice.
My people have been oppressed on our side of the planet for a while now, and I believe too that the resources should be shared by those who actually lived here, not those who own the land rights or those who come to take rights away from those landowners. So I hope to reassure you that as a resistance fighter, we could be allies in the coming battles.
And what kind of oppression have you been suffering under? I'm sketchy on the details.
Landowners have been cracking down on food supplies and being general dickholes, just using their power and their resources to keep us down and not let us have, any piece of the pie, so to speak.
Right. And do you find you guys are being overly taxed? Because the folks that I represent, that's part of the issue too, is like we're being taxed overly on all the resources, whereas before it was kind of, there was plenty for everyone.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't want to go too far into it, but since you brought it up, yes, that is something that has been occurring.
Okay.
So it seems we found a bit of common ground, at least that far.
Robert,
I think so.
It's now your turn. You can pick one of the 4 options, including leave the conversation. Maybe more to say, might you have?
So what is that, on page 18?
That is on page 16. You, on your turn, pick a conversation partner. There's only one. And choose ask a topical question, engage in improvised conversation, pass saying something about the food, and leave the conversation. As a nosy audience member, I want to ask, what type of food are we looking at here? Like, are we looking at onion rings? You guys eating chicken wings?
Homemade, like Cuban food, like real homegrown food with all the spices and
man, fucking Cuban sandwiches, probably
how to prepare the night before type of deal.
That all sounds good. Homegrown. not the spicy stuff though, because I have an ulcer and that like really irritates the ulcer.
Are there people like smoking really thick like blue smoke cigarillos in here? No, you're not into it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Bearded or Talia, but I'm more of a naturalist, so I try not to smoke.
Yeah, I don't smoke either.
All right, so so just to reaffirm, we're going to make this easy. I hope to find common ground with you about our position against the Bantrish and the landowners.
Yeah.
So is there any common ground?
I believe there is. I guess you could just pass saying something about the food since we ended up talking about it.
No, he actually asked a topic question. That is one of the questions.
Yeah, that was the topic question.
He wanted to reaffirm your commitment to the revolution, and you said yes.
I'm definitely 100% into the revolution.
That makes it your turn again.
All right. I will pass saying something about the food.
Back to you.
And then, so is this topical questions again?
Well, yeah, you can choose any of the 4. Ask a topical question, engage, pass, or leave the conversation. If you pass again, the conversation's over. If you leave, conversation's over.
Okay. All right, so I will go ahead and leave the conversation.
Okay. The 2 of you break apart, having ended Talana's venture into the capital, perhaps slightly more supported than when she arrived. Is there anyone that would like to do the next game?
So it could be anyone, or should it be Connor?
Yeah.
No, anyone could pick. Why would you pick Connor?
Because next line. What page is the list of actions?
The list of games is on page 3. It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
So if it's okay, I'll do an animated disagreement
Very
with
well.
Connor's character.
Very well. Let us turn to the animated disagreement page. You have chosen... everybody plays.
Ooh.
You choose your partner to be Ken Q... You're going to have to spell that one out for me, Connor. Kunoishi? Kunoishi. You have chosen Ken Kunoishi. The two of you must together decide what is the disagreement, where are you holding it, and who else is present. Bearded and I will be playing the audience members, wherever you're at, real or imaginary. And you will go over 3 topic questions, I believe. If there is disagreement between me and Bearded, we will turn to the audience to see who will break that tie. So let's start at the beginning. The two of you must agree. What's the disagreement? Where are you holding it? And who is present? What do you want to battle over? Roger Kincaid?
Well, I think it's our philosophical differences about the planet and, what to do with the resources.
I've already experienced the beauty of Bantresh landscape, and I already believe in that some of the beauty should be planned ahead and conserved.
Some of the beauty, but not all?
Well, unfortunately...
It sounds like this might be where the disagreement is. Where are you holding this discussion?
In a town hall.
Let me throw this one out here. Have you considered throwing it at the Voss estate? We would love to help bring peace to the planet. Come, have a dinner party with us. You can say no.
All right.
I accept your host. Your
Very well. You're there. Who else is present? I mean, are the two of you like going off into another room to talk quietly, maybe on a balcony dramatically in my beautiful flower garden where there's lots of fox sculptures?
I have business consultants that represent the interests of my company alongside me. They're sort of more familiar with the lawyer speak that is involved in these kinds of deals, as well as one of my crew.
Let me ask, did you bring any of your revolution? Did you, for instance, invite Talana to back you up at this dinner?
You're asking Roger? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm asking Roger.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'd be part of the first intelligence sharing is to let Talana know that this meeting is going to take place.
I'll probably pick 2 or 3 of my best men to come with me as well.
Oh, Eric Voss is there as well. He's wearing his beautiful fox ear noble robes of state. His cultural heritage that his grandfather and his grandfather's grandfather wore, and he's playing it up as the host of the party. So in terms of who's we're all physically present there, so if this breaks out into an argument and shooting starts, there could be bad stuff. All our player characters are gathered in one room.
You never know.
The audience conducts the discussion, you and me, Bearded. We take turns posing challenges to the position holders. Both position holders must answer each challenge. You decide who goes first, or let one of them volunteer. Once both have answered, award 1 coin to whoever you believe gave the best answer. You must choose. If either position holder goes on too long, you can cut them off and award 1 coin to their counterpart, or else just ask them to wrap up kindly. They're absolutely not allowed to interrupt or rebut each other. If either position holder interrupts the other one, cut them off and give 1 coin to their counterpart. After 3 challenges, compare the coins. Whoever has the higher amount wins, and whoever the proportion of that is who among the audience has supported them. So if someone gets all 3 coins, that means 100% support, public support goes behind that person. If it's 2 to 1, you didn't get everybody. Bearded, are there any ecological questions you want to ask of these two, or you want to let me take a crack at it?
Yeah, I'll let you take a crack at it.
So while the two of you are sitting next to each other and eating, I think one of Eric Voss's cousins leans over and just like says loudly in a staged voice, like, Mr. Kunoishi, I understand you recently got to see the scenic beauty of the nearby area, but what can you do to preserve this world? I understand that you still wish to strip mine it of its resources and take some of the crystalline banterfill as quickly as possible, with no regard for safe replanting. How do you answer these? How would you govern this planet if it was up to you? Which technically it should be, but you know how it goes when revolutionaries are abound.
We would never see this land robbed of its natural beauty. This is the current year. We have some more sophisticated ways of managing mining of these materials that don't need to impact the ecology of this entire planet very significantly at all. We know where most of the resources are. They're not nearby near the major metropolitan areas, nor are they in areas of extraordinary beauty necessarily. We're going to try and work with everyone's interests to make sure that we can both extract all the value that can be found in this land, as well as preserve its ongoing integrity in the future.
So the younger Voss cousin leans over to Roger Kincaid and says, your response, Mr. Kincaid.
I think you do a good talk, but the reality is you have been harvesting the resources and nothing is being left for the people who have already been here for generations already. So I'll stress again, before we knew about the big event, no one cared a crap about this planet. And now after this big event, suddenly you have this grand interest and you come across saying that you're trying to preserve the resources, but all I see is you harvesting everything that comes natural to this planet and not sharing the benefits of this discovery with the rest of the people. So it's capitalism at its worst. So you guys are absorbing everything and not spreading enough, for the people. And I just think that we should be spreading the resources and let all inhabitants on this planet benefit from this, and not just the major families and not just the landowners.
I would say what's happening currently is capitalism.
You lose.
No
rebuttals.
Oh, okay.
The coin automatically goes to Roger Kincaid as the entire audience is shook. He's shook that you would rebuttal.
You're not supposed to?
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
That was part of the discussion.
Oh man. Okay.
You want me to reread the rules for you?
I'll read them.
You sure? I'll read them.
Yeah,
they are absolutely not allowed to interrupt or rebut each other. If either position holder interrupts or tries to get a rebuttal in, cut them off at once and grant one coin to their counterpart.
I didn't interrupt. I mean, I waited for him to.
But you rebutted.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree there. So, okay.
Roger Kincaid.
How are we supposed to discuss things?
You don't.
Okay.
You present your position.
You present your position and the audience votes, but you have lost, Connor. It's all right. You've only lost one coin. You can still win the other two. Bearded, if you were going to vote, you don't have to answer this. Who would you have voted for? As a player, not as your character. Who do you think did the better job of presentation?
I will always default to my brother-in-arms.
As a player.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, as a player.
Honestly, I listened to Connor's rebuttal, and I had some.
You had some rebutting of your own.
Yeah.
Very well. Either way, the coin is awarded to Roger Kincaid. Bearded, I offer you the second question if you would like to choose who to ask it to, or just an open question about the wealth and beauty of Bantrol.
Yeah, I'll ask Connor. So you say that you will not be mining any of the capital cities or the areas of beauty, but then what is left? We have low income, impoverished, areas with people living in it that you just take and take and take. So how does your position best serve the neglected interests of the underprivileged?
My position best serves the interests of the neglected by paying them well. That's how we are giving you fair value for your labor. Actually, I don't believe it's come to your side of the planet yet, Talana. But it in fact has come to Rogers, and I think that he's seen the benefit of our influence versus the Bantrell influence.
You can't rebut, but you can answer the same general question.
Give me a reminder on the question.
Bearded?
Because I'm trying to not rebut.
How does your position best serve the neglected interests of the underprivileged?
Okay, so my position is the generations who have worked hard here to develop the planet to make it what it is deserve the rewards of the big event and the resources that we found. So by sharing that and spreading those resources, we don't need to have an elite group and a poor group. We can spread it all around so that everyone benefits and everyone, will basically share in the profits, if you will, of what this planet can produce. And me being a wildlife conservationist, I would still like to control the resources so that we don't over harvest and lose out on the benefit of this as well. So it has to be a measured response, but shareable, and perhaps that will, benefit everyone across the entire planet.
Okay. Bearded, are you ready to reveal your vote for who you believe won that conversation?
Yes.
I will start with mine. I believe that our landowner, Ken, came up with a pretty good response.
I believe our other guy here came up with a really good response. Forget
Very
your
well.
name. Sorry.
Roger.
You just named it Roger. Okay, cool.
ROGR, because it's in the future.
Easy. Now I'll remember.
So I'm making a straw poll: capitalism versus communism. Audience, you vote. You decide. Is it you will be paid your work's worth, or the land is for all? I think that's a pretty fair representation of your arguments. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Gosh, sounds good.
I feel like I'm the furry version of the Emperor. Like,
Yeah, I think so too. I think I'm
Not
gonna
wrong.
switch over to some neck ladies.
Like some furry Palpatine action.
Yeah.
wipe them out, all of them.
All of Robotnik's robots will die.
Oh my gosh, Robotnik. Gosh, this thing is so warm.
Yeah.
Now that all my hair's been chopped off, it feels like a good replacement for my hair. Like it just. Audience, you got 20 seconds left to vote. Who's gonna tie break this piece up in here? Who will win? Who will lose? Which rap battle is worth contending? The results say 0 votes. Come on now, audience. Come on now. We're counting on you.
Time to flip a D2.
I just let my chat know maybe someone will come over.
You could always just post the.
Oh yeah. Post the link over in your
Post the link
chat
over
for
there.
real.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were
streaming.
streaming.
Apgamingreal link in chat. That's the one you wanted me to post, right?
But you could just post the straw poll.
Yes.
Yeah, the straw poll is what
It says people are voting, but the votes aren't being counted. How interesting.
What?
Yeah.
sounds like it's being hacked.
Sounds like I win.
But
You didn't.
you didn't participate.
Somehow, I think someone's vote isn't quite as neutral as it should be.
Yeah, it does sound like there might be some problems here with your neutrality. Oh boy. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna make another straw poll, and we'll give it another minute. I'm just gonna put the people's names in as the option. Do you pick Ken, or do you pick Roger?
Or do you pick me?
Do you pick Kentipalism or Calm Your Roger?
Tell me that.
Calm your Roger.
Rogerism.
So is there another?
I'm
Does he
getting
use
the
the same
second.
code?
I'm putting the second poll out because it sounds like the first one didn't really work.
Yeah.
Putting it out. I'm gonna throw it in your chat as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Boom. Yeah, that first one still has 0 votes. So weird. Come on now, straw poll. We're relying on you. We're relying on you. Look, chat, if this doesn't work, we're just going to ask you to put your votes in chat. Pick up your mobile devices, your phone, your tablet, your PC. Text hashtag Ken or hashtag Roger.
Roger.
All right. Are the votes actually coming in? Results say 0 votes. Okay. In
Still
chat
not
now.
votes.
Spam your vote, audience. Hashtag Ken, hashtag Roger. This is very frustrating. I apologize, YouTube, but there's nothing we can do here. Straw poll has literally failed us for like 5 minutes. We're about to find out who the chat. There's no anonymity here. I see a vote for Roger.
We did it.
That's 1 vote. You can't win with 1 vote. That's
know,
not
while
how
we're waiting for the
democracy
votes-
works.
while
Oh
we're
wow, 2
waiting
votes
the
for Roger.
The this is the second day in a row someone said I look like Sean Bean.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's an easy Halloween costume.
I think I know what I'm going to be. Yeah.
I see 2 votes for Roger. That's it. Roger wins
Roger.
the second coin. Bearded, would you like to ask a question of the group, or shall I?
You shall.
We are now up to 3. Okay, first off, you can't vote, Bearded. You already voted. It's ROGR, by the way, guys, not Roger.
That's
he's
the
not
French,
French.
version.
Yeah.
That's
Roger.
the name that he uses when he like meets with all the fancy people.
My name is Roger Kincaid.
Roger Kincade. Sorry, did you say me or you? For asking the question.
You.
He said you, AT.
Interesting. How can I frame a question that will give Connor at least some chance of winning here with the audience so against him?
I bring prosperity.
I ask my question to start with to Roger. So it is not the younger cousin of the Voss family, but Eric Voss himself turns to Roger and says, "Good sir, I am very interested in your ideas about saving our planet as much as we can, but I must ask, how will you pay for this? This world is under threat by the landowners, perhaps worse than the noble Mr. Ken here might come. If we are not gathering the Bantral, the crystalline Bantral, then we do not make the money. More will come. The Solar Union must be paid. The shareholders must be paid. The landowners must be paid. Where will this wealth that you wish to both share and generate come from, Mr. Kincaid?" And then he gives you like he's graciously allowing you.
Right. Thank you for the time. There's no reason why we all can't benefit, because you got the workers who I represent of Bantral. They just need to have a part of the share, right? Because right now we're not getting enough. We're being overly taxed and not getting enough of the share. So that's my position. We can pay the workers. You can get your profits and the landowners can get their profits, but I just think we need to focus on the workers first, because without them we can't get the mining done, we can't do the resources. And I've always said it should be a controlled event. We shouldn't let it get out of control and let greed take over. It should be a measured response.
Same question to you, Mr. Ken. How will all of this dream be paid for?
Look, unfortunately, we're the only ones that have the capacity to make this work. I mean, the landowners, we could take our shares, sell them on the market. You'll have the same exact problem. Someone else will come in, and they might be less amenable. They might be more inclined to be a little bit harsher on strikes and to mech theft, which is something we take very seriously. That's the current situation. We can negotiate, and I have lateral capacity to make negotiations in the name of the partners. However, I can only go so far. I mean, labor has a market value, and we are ready to pay that and then some. But we won't be bent over backwards. We need to make this work. We need to pay the scientists who will be extracting this material, and their labor also needs to be paid.
Bearded, let us vote. Who would you vote for? Who do you believe won that particular argument? I'll tell you my vote.
Yeah.
I feel like Ken really laid it out. I mean, Roger's just saying we need to pay the workers more, and Ken's like, I have a comprehensive policy plan, and you could do way worse than me. That's where my vote goes.
I just feel like my character wouldn't even...
But you're not voting as your character. You're
Right.
voting as Bearded.
Okay. Yeah, then I would pick Ken as well.
Very well. At the end, you have asked 3 questions and answered 3 questions. 2 coins go to Roger. 1 coin goes to Ken. Most of the dining hall at this dinner party believes in Roger Kincaid's revolutionary idealistic ideas of conservation and social communism and spreading the wealth around. But there are holdouts who believe that Ken Kunoichi offers a way forward, one with measured response that caters to the responsibility that we have towards the shareholders. Thus ends a conversation, an animated disagreement.
Nobody died. Yes.
No one died.
Yet. Yet.
You know, speaking of nobody died, by the way,
Oh, okay.
I was thinking that I would go sword to sword.
Okay.
Do it.
At this party? Are we at this party or?
No, it'll happen later. My chosen partner is Roger Kincaid. So let me ask, are we in our mobile frames, or is this physically sword to sword?
Well, you picked. You tell me.
Mobile frames. Mobile frames.
I feel
All
like
right.
it'd be interesting to meet in the field in mobile frames.
How do we know what our mobile frames can do?
Will, you described it at the very beginning. You said yours has missiles and that's it, and not very much armor, a junker kludged together.
Pretty much.
I described mine as having a shit ton of heavy weaponry and some pretty good mobility. How did the two of us come to be standing alone, sword to sword? Roger, you claim to be a revolutionary. Is there revolutionary activity you undertake? Do you take things? Do you steal things? I mean, I've heard that you've been watching us noble, specifically me, right?
I've been watching you meet with the landowners, and
Yeah.
it causes me confusion because supposedly you're against the landowners, but I see all this supposed collusion. So I'm unsure where you
Don't
guys
hit
are
me with
coming from.
collusion. Don't hit me with
Air quotes
collusion.
collusion.
We are in our mobile frames. I think that we should meet at the edge of my property. I have detected your mobile frame, and I am moving in to intercept and Rather than fight it out, missile to missile, I'm approaching with my flaming sword, Vorpal, lit up and ready to go, and you're there in Jabberwocky. Do you agree? I mean, you could say no, and we'll renegotiate.
I will renegotiate because I still think a call to arms is not necessary. My whole position is I see you guys cooperating, and neither one of you is working to the benefit of the
no. So this is just, I'm not saying we don't necessarily have to fight during this duel, although there will be motions of fighting. I'm saying you're investigating my activities, and I've detected that, and I'm coming out to confront you about it.
Okay.
Is that something you agree to, or we renegotiate? Okay.
No, yes, that's fine.
Who is the better sword user, me or you?
You.
Okay, I thought so too. I ask a leading question. We take turns asking question, going back and forth. Anytime after the third question, we can choose to end the duel by asking a closing question. The closing questions are pretty interesting. So, we lock swords. I dash my Fox Mark II in towards yours with my lit sword and just slam my mech directly into yours. You're defending with your sword. And I open close range communications. It's clearly Eric Voss, but he's wearing a fox mask. And he's just like, "This is the masked fox. What are you doing on this property?" What do you say?
Now I freeform this?
Yep. What do you? I mean, what do you say? I mean, you're being engaged sword to sword. We lock swords. Your mouth is near my ear, and mobile frames. Our cockpits are quite close to each other.
Slow motion.
Yeah.
Yep. So Voss, I know that's you in there, because the game master told me so. But
I mean, it's super obvious, right?
Yeah. It's like
it's a fox mech. He's wearing a fox mask.
I was, I'm here just to keep an eye to make sure that you guys don't partner up, or at the very least to make sure, whatever happens is to the benefit of the common people.
Okay.
Right now, I'm still not convinced that that's happening.
Now you ask a leading question of me.
All right, so I catch your wrist in my hand and draw you close to me. Do you let your sword drop, or do you shove me away and fight on?
Okay, so you grab my mobile frame's wrist, and I'm like, no. Let's see here. I'm not gonna drop my sword. I mean, I feel like maybe your frame is bulkier than mine, but mine might be a little taller, and I push you away. And continue fighting on as I break, and then I go back into an overhand stance and in like a very human gestures. We circle, swords tips touching. So now our two mechs are walking in a circle as our plasma cutters are, lightsabering. What do you say to me?
Voss, if you force this issue, I will fight, but I did not come here to fight you. I'm just want you to know, but I'm not going to stand down either. I believe strongly in my position. I have others who believe in my position, and not that we want to cause chaos on the planet, but we just want to make sure everyone is treated equally.
I want to point out you haven't asked me any questions yet. All right, so here's the deal. That's the third leading question. You can at any time ask a closing question, or you can keep asking leading questions if you want to. I just want to point out I haven't had a chance to say anything on my behalf yet.
So you're saying I should probably do another leading question to you?
Well, I am manipulating you slightly because I would like a chance to defend my stance here. Yeah. You can ask a closing question, or you can keep asking leading questions. I mean, all that's happened in this fight so far is that I intercepted an intruder at the edge of my lands. Now all of a sudden we're in a blade fight. He's grabbing my arm. Now he's like, Voss, I blame you, you know. I'll defend myself. And I'm like, you're on my land. You can't defend yourself on my land. Get off my land.
All right, so I pretend to falter and dip my blade. Do I draw you out, or do you recognize the ploy and hold steady?
I think I recognize the ploy and hold steady. So we're still walking tip to tip, and you like let your sword drop, and all you see is the cockpit of the Fox Mark II just dead on watching this happen. Doesn't try to dash forward and stab you or anything.
All right.
Do I want to ask a closing question? You thrust perilously close to my face. Do you cut me, and where? So after you let that blade drop come up, swoosh, whether intentional or accidental, does it hit? Do you hit the cockpit of the Fox Mark II? Where?
So I don't think it would hit the Fox, because I'm not here to murder the guy either.
Right.
So I just want to show a show of strength and say, you know what, I'm here as an equal combatant, whether I have that skill or not. But so then I'm going to ask you, what is your position then? What is it that, can I do this? Can I ask a free form question?
Let's see here. You can ask leading questions. Freeform questions are for other things. We're in the middle of a duel, sir.
Okay.
I mean, you can ask me, you know, what do you say from from we circle tip to tip again, you know, we lock swords. If you want to know what I think, these are the kind of questions you need to ask.
Okay. So I can repeat then, right? Like you said, we can lock swords.
Yeah.
And your mouth is near my ear. What do you say?
I don't want to fight you, Kincaid. I don't know what you're doing on my land or why you think that I'm selling you out to the landowners. I'm doing what I can to keep this planet together while you revolutionaries go around committing crimes. What are you doing on my land? I would like to, man, I think I want to ask a closing question. I get my sword's point high up under your chin. Do you submit or do you flee from this conflict? So I got my flaming sword.
Right.
Surrender, Kincaid. We'll talk about this later.
And this is after you've just told me you don't want to fight.
That's correct.
So I'm going to back away.
You're going to flee?
Yep, basically flee.
All right.
But I'll step away.
He just stands there and lets you go. I mean, some of these answers are, I kill you, so...
Yeah.
Definitely could have gone a lot worse.
It's like, yeah. How far do we want to take it?
I didn't want to kill you. Come on, I'm trying to work with you here, but what are you doing on my land?
Got it.
Trying to take my land? Trying to take my job?
So
What's next? You gonna try to take my mech?
You were there?
I never got a chance to ask him. We were having a meeting with swords. Perhaps I'll get another chance later to ask him some more freeform questions. I was hoping to get along with Roger Kincaid, but now I'm afraid of him. Who knows, man? He just shows up on your property in the middle of the night.
He's resolute.
Connor, I believe that you were the last person to play. Really? What? Are you shooting someone? Are you shooting Talana in the back of the head right now? While she's watching a cat video or something?
I'm just browsing YouTube, man.
Jesus. Wow, Connor. What the fuck?
Getting back. No, I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, that wouldn't work out just because that's a human, that's mech. So, but yeah.
Maybe I'm really, really tall, Connor.
Yeah. Really tall.
Really tall.
That's
you are your own force of nature. That's why maybe you ate too many of the rads that are being grown on this planet. Maybe it's not such a great natural wonder after all.
Maybe. But what do you do?
Really? So it's my turn? You guys have already...
All three of us have picked.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
It's time for you to pick one of the 8, or technically the 9th, if you want to play solitaire by yourself in front of all these people.
Let me just check on some things.
Maybe you want to steal time together with Talana. Maybe you want to kiss her. Maybe you want to hug her. Maybe you want to get really filthy and hold hands.
Whoa, yeah. Stealing time together is not what I thought it would be.
I don't know. It's exactly what I thought it would be.
Okay.
Conducting the liaison. I don't know how much mecha stuff you've seen, but like cross-factional romance is a staple in Gundam, and to some extent even Macross.
The best part of that was when she hands her the letter for her birthday, and he says he's gonna kill her, but then he touches her.
Oh my god, that's literally the first episode.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the fucking series, he's like, "I love you so much for Lena."
And I'm watching 83, like I said before, and it's pretty awesome. Yeah, the animation's really.
You can't beat Gundam 00. It's literally the fan favorite.
Yeah.
Wing is all right, but you got to remember it was made in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and is so filled with edge. It's literally the fucking edgiest.
Heavy Arms is the best.
Yeah, yep, I agree. He literally, the chest just opened, the arms like missiles everywhere. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of, like a very organic looking of that for Fox. The Fox Mark II is a heavy arms prototype.
So I'm gonna pick the Chase.
Oh
I
boy!
have caught up with the thief of that security mech,
Ooh.
and I'm here enforcing the rights of those Bantrol, the Bantreshi nobles, because they're a mech. But I'm on their dime. And I'm pursuing. So I guess
your partner's Talana.
Yep, Talana.
You get to choose, Connor, who is the hunter and which is the quarry.
I'm the hunter, and the mech itself is the quarry. So I'm after enforcing the property rights. Regarding the legalese, I suppose, it just depends on how things are done out here in Bantreshi. I'm not really sure what kind of laws are how they're enforced here.
You have one final question to ask your partner.
What is the current state of the security?
No. Up back at the top. You have to ask your partner how the chase came about. They get to decide how the situation happened.
Okay. How did the chase come about? I followed the lead.
Nope. The quarry answers.
Okay.
Talana picks how the chase started.
I probably used that mech along with the other mechs at my disposal to steal some more supplies from one of their supply
depot.
cache. Yeah.
Very well. Are you both in your mobile frames right now? Sounds like the answer is yes.
Yep.
Bearded, you will make 4 challenges and admissions. You choose freely, except your third choice must be an admission. During the chase, you all will gain coins representing the distance. So, you get to make challenges and admissions to Connor. Pick which ones you want. They'll award either one of you a coin based on how he answers.
Okay. I know this ground well. Follow me if you dare. But on Tails, you're plunging headless into danger, and I need not choose any admissions during the chase after all.
Very well.
So I need to flip a coin?
Yeah. Let's pick whether 1 or 2 is Tails.
1 is heads, 2 is tails.
Very well. So you guys literally, the beginning of the fight, you 100% go into like a kid or a forest or trees. You know the ground well. You're zooming through it.
I've lost you.
Yep. Plunging headless.
No coin, but you don't need to make an admission on the third part of the chase.
Cool.
Part 2. What would you like to pick? Challenge, admission?
You're on page 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I lead a dizzying course through switchback and blind. Follow me if you want, but throw on tails, you're lost, and you won't be able to find your own way back.
You know this land well, man.
Make your flip.
Oh.
All right.
Wow.
Because you picked the I know this ground well, you don't have to make an admission on the third challenge. What would you like to do? Challenge or admission? I want to point out you haven't gained any coins yet, so you are both even in this race. However, he can't find his way back on his own now.
Right. I press through a thorny briar. Follow me if you want. On tails, you're tangled and torn and must extract yourself, and I gain a coin.
Will you follow?
I have a choice.
Really, no. If you want to have any chance of winning this.
Yeah.
Oh my god, lost again.
Yeah.
You pull ahead slightly, Talana, beginning to lose him in your rear optical sensors. It is the final challenge. Everything's on the line here. If he gets a coin, you guys are locked. If he gets 2 coins, he wins. If you were a huge
this is the last one I have
dick
to do
about
it,
this,
right?
you would ask a question that doesn't give a coin, which would ensure your victory.
Right. Which one would that be?
So the answer to that question is yes.
I plunged through the stinking, muddy water.
Yeah. Follow me if you want, but you'll need to ignore the stench and filth and ruin your clothing.
So that
Just
beautiful
like a
military mech that you keep very polished is
Yeah.
going to be covered in industrial waste and mud.
If I flip wrong, or
There's no flip. You just choose whether you want to go in or not.
Let me read it again. Is there any way for me to? So I'm rolling on a chance to catch him, though.
There's no chance on this one. There's no flip. He's picked one that involves if you follow, you get dirty.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
But then if I follow, I do catch him?
No. You have no chance to catch him.
Okay. In that case, I don't follow.
He has maneuver. Okay.
Classic landowner doesn't want to get his clothes dirty.
You break away and escape,
Just another
Talana.
filthy revolutionary.
You get away with those supplies, and he stops before going into that industrial waste and doesn't mess up his mech. So, honestly, I don't think we've resolved the situation here at all. I feel like there's a lot more going on.
Yep.
But it is my responsibility as the host to tell you we can end the game at any time. Any player can say we're done, and we'll go through the ending sequence.
Nope.
We have all done at least one. I would like to give all of you a chance to say I'd like to do one. I'd like to do one personally, but I don't want to just jump in here and be like, I want to do one.
No, I'm down. This is fun.
Yeah, keep going.
Continue.
I like the story.
I mean, if no one else has anything, I would like to have a conversation over food with Talana.
Do it.
Let's be paired then.
Page is that?
Page 16.
16.
How did we come to be eating together, Talana?
I don't know. You're pretty much the top tier, and I'm the lowest rung.
I feel like Voss has displayed himself to be a magnanimous man.
You probably did another, come to my house and eat my stuff, and Talana got a really nice dress to infiltrate your humble abode. And we ended up, for the first part of the party, I would just, schmooze with everybody until time.
Let me ask, is it an overall party, or did I just invite you personally? Or maybe just only revolutionaries?
That would be up to you, I guess.
It's up to you. You're the one setting the stage here. I'm asking interesting questions because I want to know, is this one-on-one? I mean, it sounds like you're in a nice dress. Are you expecting something out of this party? No, wait, I'll save that for later.
No, it would probably be a party, because if I came in a dress, it would be with other people who were
Very
probably
well. My audience members, Connor, Robert, you can stop us and ask questions about what's happening at any time. Okay. Ask for more details. I feel like Eric shows up not in his standard noble outfit with the fox ears, but he's wearing like if you've seen the like Tron Legacy, Jeff Bridges is wearing like a white kimono, very Steve Jobsian. He shows up like that, just like in very fancy pajamas, essentially. The party is kind of super relaxed. Like, there's some jazz fusion being played by a live band. It's like a brunch at midnight kind of deal. Lots of small foods, kind of like a tapas kind of Spanish deal going on. Lots of little appetizers that are all super delicious.
What kind of gala is this? Is this like a fundraiser, or like what precisely?
It's a great question. I feel like what's happening is Eric Voss is attempting to smoke Talana out. He knows that there's another revolutionary leader that's not Roger Kincaid, and he's confused. He thought he could work with Roger, and then Roger stepped to him and then wouldn't surrender. So he's like trying to look for the revolutionaries and figure out what's going on, who's really in charge. Why is Kincaid messing with me? I thought he was like a pacifist. As you've described yourself as having a lower social standing, you get to ask a topical question, engage in improvised conversation, pass or leave. If you left, I would be very sad.
Something gives you away to me. What is it?
Oh. You catch Eric Voss checking you out. You know, not just the once over, but like the twice. Like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my question, huh?
Yep.
He walks over, introduces himself, and I'm feeling expansive. What do you want to know about me? So he's like, greetings. I think I recognize you. I'm afraid we might not have been properly introduced. I'm Eric Voss of House Voss. Some have called me a warrior prince.
And then I pick another topical, or do we just freeform?
I mean, I'm asking you, what do you want to know about me? You can
No need
ask.
for introductions, Mr. Voss. Everyone knows who you are.
It's Lord Voss. But please, just call me Eric.
Darth Voss.
I probably want to know, like, I'd say you have such a vast and expansive repertoire of you know, mechs and property and all of that, and kind of just have you elaborate on how great you are.
I wouldn't say we had vast and expansive. Really, once my family was so much greater. Ever since this incident has started, ever since the event, my holdings have, I wouldn't say diminished, but we've very much consolidated. My cousins, of course, are independently wealthy and bring their own soldiers and frames with them, but everything we do is for the people of Bentral. And the lands here are beautiful in that we have caretaken them for generations. It is now your turn to ask me a question, or freeform engage, or talk about the food, or leave.
I'll have you reassure me about how your family takes care of the lands.
Oh, interesting. For generations, really, since this planet was, I wouldn't say founded, it was noble purpose that our settler ancestors came here. Perhaps divided by issues back on Earth, but now brought together by divine fate. We found ourselves leading our comrades, our brothers and sisters, and for generations, you see the beauty of my estates around. You have claimed it yourself. that beauty could be spread everywhere across Bantresh. We, the Bantresh nobles, know how to work this land. We have been doing it for generations. Administration is our great calling that God himself has given us. If you believe my estates look beautiful, imagine what the planet could look like underneath the direction of the Bantresh once more. I'd like to engage in some actual improvised conversation. I'm sorry, I'm not sure that I caught your name.
Talana.
Talana, what do you do?
I work the land along with my family, and we have been doing so for generations under the careful guise of the nobles.
The nobles have also worked the land for generations, but recently we have had interference. There has been a violent interloper who has invaded my estates. This Roger Kincaid, do you know of him?
I've heard of him.
I'm so confused. I thought he was a noble leader, perhaps even a pacifist, but he violently came upon my land with flaming sword and missiles, and
No, I've
He
heard
did.
such great things about him, though.
I've also heard great things about him. I was hoping that I could find someone to arrange a meeting. I've been looking for any revolutionary comrades that I could find. Really, I don't even consider them revolutionaries. I consider them citizens of Bantral. I feel like we are all one people that need to be united. If we wish to negotiate with the landowners, we must speak with one voice. Do you have any friends like that? Friends who might know Roger Kincaid, friends who might know the so-called revolutionary leadership? Captains, mobile frame pilots, and such?
I don't know, but I can ask around for you. Surely someone on Bantral knows something.
So he pulls out a mobile device and says, "This smartphone has my number programmed into it. Just hit 1 and call, and it'll call me. I would appreciate if you could provide me with any information at all. I'm not asking you to betray Bantral or this so-called revolution. I am asking you to help aid me in restoring our planet to the glory that it could be. Really, it isn't even restoring our planet. We can make it better than it has ever been. All involved in this dance of power have interests that could align in one direction. The wealth and beauty of the world could flow as it never has before. If only we could bring everyone to the negotiating table without hostilities. Don't you agree?"
Oh, very much. What a great vision you have for Bantral.
I end my improvised conversation, and it is now your turn to pick.
Okay. I am going to meet sword to sword with...
Oh,
Ken.
you're leaving the conversation then?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought we
Okay.
Yeah. Leave the conversation.
Very well. It is over then. You're meeting sword to sword. Let's talk about it. Who you pick?
I think I
Ken.
heard of Ken.
Oh shit, Ken, get wrecked, bitch.
I'm ready to test my military might and my,
Very
my
well.
company against, well, you.
Let's do it.
Decide how the two of you came to be standing alone sword to sword. Let's start with the obvious. Are you in your mobile frames or not?
Yes.
Very well. How did the two of you come to be alone, frame to frame?
Is it me or is it
You have to choose together. It's a
Okay.
negotiation.
I was going to say. Well, initially, I was going to say if we were not meeting frame to frame, we'd see each other in a bar, and maybe I'd recognize you as the person that I had chased somehow. That would make sense.
I probably set a trap for you after you totally didn't get me last time, and I thought you were just really bad in your mech, and I was just like, oh yeah, we could totally take this guy.
Well, I'm not gonna accept a trap.
Well, I could put some information out that all the stuff that I stole from you is in X warehouse.
Like, why would I?
You want your shit?
As a gamer, why would I like accept that I'm going to be in a trap situation?
Well, it wouldn't say trap on there. I'm setting it up as a trap.
But if
let's frame back around, right? It sounds like there's some contention here.
So,
some other location then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like
where can you
Connor.
meet?
It sounds like maybe you don't want to be in mobile frames. Is that true?
no, I just thought it'd be funny. I don't know. I had a certain scene.
I mean, it's
Connor
fine
wants
if you
to roll
don't want to.
advantage.
I don't know if he wants to have an advantage or he just doesn't want to be at a massive disadvantage.
Hey, look, three twos in a row. I mean, I'm coming for a 1 next. That's for sure.
That is
Sometimes
not
the
how
fans work in my
probability
favor.
works, but
Yeah.
Bearded's just glad that he won that real easily.
Yeah.
Incredibly easily. All right, let's figure out another way. I'll throw out a suggestion. Perhaps it's a patrol that the two of you have stumbled on each other. The revolutionaries are patrolling around their camp. The landowners caught wind of, something at the edge of the sensor grid. Not enough to send out a platoon, but enough to send out an elite warrior. Does that sound...
Works for me.
This works for me.
Very well. What did the two of you notice about each other as your mechs come closer?
I notice the dirt on the mech.
You recognize that it's the same mech. Then you're like, oh shit, this is the thief.
This is that mech.
Stop, thief! What do you notice?
I probably already know what his mech looks like.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's pristine clean too. So
Yeah. Someone just washed it before they took it out.
I
I
would
would watch it to make sure it's in military order.
Robert, do you want to ask any details about the location that this is happening at? I want to give you a chance to be like, is this a canyon? Is this a cave? Is this you mean over the
they're
ocean?
both on patrol.
Yes.
Yep.
So I want to ask Bearded where he was patrolling, where his character was patrolling.
Probably a foresty area so that I can keep under the radar.
So is your frame small enough that you are smaller than trees then?
It's the night frame, so I don't know if that would be...
Sure.
Under the canopy of the trees, then?
Yeah.
We can establish that it's like kind of squat and below like 20 or 30 feet tall.
Right. Okay.
I don't have any questions. To conduct the duel, ask a leading question. That is the person who is better with the sword. Which one of you is better with the sword?
I think Ken's gonna be better with the sword.
Probably.
Okay. You ask
Probably
questions
am.
first.
Ask questions first.
Okay.
It's on page 23, leading questions.
Okay, sorry.
Is that barking in someone's background or is that coming from the Roll20?
No, it's way in the background. I'll shut my window.
Sorry. I was like, oh man, if that's from the Roll20, that's pretty interesting. I've never heard it before. But it's just so light.
I need a new mic that doesn't pick up everything.
You probably just need to crank the gain down on your mic a little bit.
I catch your wrist in my hand and I draw you close to me. Do you let your sword drop or do you shove me away and fight on?
I shove you away and fight on.
Oh, instant answer.
Yeah.
I love the
touchy.
idea that this knight frame and this soldier frame get together and there's some judo move and immediately it's just like, bam, Talana, get the F out of here. She doesn't want you touching her. Why you gotta be so weird about it, Ken? Talana, your question. Leading.
I touch you, cutting you along the rib or across the arm. Do you withdraw and run, or do you rejoin the fight?
I definitely rejoin the fight.
Ooh, what does it look like when your Night Frame's plasma cutter cuts across his soldier frame? Like, are we talking this is a light graze, or is this deep enough that like wires and sparks are coming out?
I mean, if he pulled me in with his wrist, I'd be pretty close, so it'd be a pretty deep cut.
Oh shit! You rejoin the fight, Connor. You have another leading question you can ask, sir. You got a damaged arm right there. I'm assuming that Talana's right-handed, which means your left arm has just been sliced.
Okay, I thrust and you barely turn it. A fraction slower and you've been cut through. Does it exhilarate or chill you?
Exhilarate.
Plasma cutter slicing against each other. Talana takes a breath and feels alive as the adrenaline pumps in her veins. Talana, you now have the option. You can continue asking leading questions if you want to know more, or you can begin asking closing questions and end the duel.
We lock swords. Your mouth is near to my ear. What do you say?
You open communications channels between each other. I want to ask before you get to the question, what colors are your plasma cutters?
Green.
White.
This forest probably looks like a fucking rave right now.
Turn on the music. Dun, 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 dun. Yes.
I say, I've played with you long enough. You either concede or you're done.
It is your turn, Ken. You can ask a leading question, or you could start closing it up. That sounded pretty demanding.
I get my sword point high under your chin. Do you submit or flee?
Just those two, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
He cuts right to the point, you know, kind of like your plasma cutter.
I flee.
You're gone, leaving your patrol unfinished, as Ken once again is lost in the woods for the second time in a row.
What makes me lost?
No, nothing. I just like that idea that you get lost really easily. But you won the battle. You forced your enemy to withdraw.
Yeah.
That cowardly resistance member has to run away once again.
Of course. Of course. They'll never stand firm. That's what a soldier's discipline allows you to do.
I believe Connor or it was just Bearded that went, right?
Yeah.
So it's Connor or Robert. You can pick more, or of course begin the end.
Go?
Did who go?
Did you go?
Yes, I started out by doing the conversation over food with Bearded.
Right, okay. Shep, why don't you go?
All right, I'm picking a free-for-all.
Oh,
Ooh.
shit. All right, let's get it on, boys. Everybody plays.
Yep, yep.
We meet in our mobile frames to do battle. Who is your chosen partner for this?
Is it opposing?
It is. It is opposing, but it can start to get confusing because there's more than two sides of this conflict, obviously.
Right, right. So,
who's your chosen partner?
Let me see what my challenges are. Yeah, so I'm gonna do Connor again.
Wow, you're getting hassled by the resistance so bad. Connor, where does this free-for-all take place?
Hopefully not somewhere with mud.
I say it's the Voss estate.
Oh my god, I was literally thinking not the boss estate, not the boss estate, not the boss estate. Oh, Jesus.
It's on your lands. It's
yeah.
Like, I'm coming for a meeting with you.
And you catch him over there again.
And I guess
I arrive at my mobile frame to see what's up, and I guess Talana does as well.
Yeah. Talana was scouting. Roger was heading. I don't know what he was doing there, but
I want to be very clear here. I haven't picked a side yet. I'm gonna wait to hear what happens before I get involved in this shit. But y'all need to get the fuck off my land. This is some beautiful topiary. Okay, there's some very nice bushes that you just stepped on.
You're like the Gran Torino of Gundam. Get off my lawn.
We might ask anyone for more information about location, landscape, and circumstances, but it sounds like you've pretty well set this one up. Connor, as the aggressor, you go. Oh, sorry, Robert, were you the one that challenged?
Yeah,
that was. Yeah,
you go first. Everybody gets 2 turns.
Okay. And
you choose an enemy player character and give them a challenge. You can, of course, pick anybody here as an enemy, or you can just focus in on Ken.
All right, so on Ken, I fall out of the sky like a hunting bird. Do you survive my attack, and how?
Holy
I use my
shit.
superior thrusters of my military model to easily dodge out of the way.
So let me ask, Roger, like, you literally just fall out of the sky. Like, are you spinning? Are missiles flying everywhere? Is this like a flaming drop kick? Is this like an overhead Sephiroth stab? What's going on here?
I think it's what I can hear is as I drop out of the sky, I pull out my sword and I hear that shing.
Shing.
Yeah, the one in animation that lasts like 20 seconds.
Shing. Of course, it's a slow motion draw, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you jumped off a mountain or jumped off the like a peak, and I could hear your mech creaking from a good while away.
But you could probably see him coming. He's flying through the air.
He was in the sun. You couldn't see him.
Yeah.
You jet backwards, and I would like to say that he lands, and it does that thing where, you know, there's like a small crater and a huge dust cloud, and then like the dust settles around him, and we see his mech like
eyes just do a shine thing.
It's slightly more ominous than we've seen it before. Like, it's clear that he's the villain here as he's just attacked.
Right.
Connor, it's up to you. You may pick an enemy pilot here. That's anybody.
Okay.
Choose an enemy player character and give them a challenge.
Roger.
Where are the challenges?
On the next page.
Page 21.
Got it.
Yep.
Far across the landscape, I raise my rifle. I can shoot a shot into your reactor core, slice off your comms antenna, unhinge your knee, put out your eye. Do you avoid my shot? How?
Who are you doing this for?
Roger.
Oh yeah, because because my instincts are pretty strong. They have to be because I'm in this junking device. So I'm able to duck and roll and avoid your shot.
Or maybe I didn't truly intend on hitting it.
Yeah, you could sell yourself that.
Bearded, you and I get to go now.
I hold back, lighting you up with my sensors and comms, zeroing
Who are
you
you
for
picking?
my allies. I'm using my sensors for Robert.
Okay,
that
so you were saying you're allying with Roger, and you are lighting up Ken.
Yes.
Okay.
That. But I'm
Sorry, ask the question again because I interrupted rudely.
I hold back, lighting you up with sensors and comms, zeroing you for my allies. Are you able to evade? How?
I just don't know enough about mech to understand this. So lighting me up with sensors and comms.
Okay, so imagine that all of these mechs are, to some extent, stealth, right? If someone paints you, it's like every military movie you've ever seen. You're like, oh no, I'm being painted, and suddenly you hear an alarm in your area that's like, you know that someone is tracking you and that missiles could be incoming. Someone is calling in fire support on you.
Okay.
Can you break that lock? How do you do it?
I divert extra reactor resources to shaking off some of the comms. However, I'm not too afraid of being lit up a little bit extra. I am rolling. I mean, if I'm allowed to set it up yet, still I'm rolling with my crew, I suppose, to some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is for Roger. I keep the cover, circling with tactical precision. I'm almost impossible to spot. Do you see me coming? I mean, I'm on my land. I'm an experienced mobile ace-frame pilot in a custom-framed mech.
I will say no. I do not see you coming.
So I think, like, in the background of the estate, we just see these little fox ears that keep showing up in the background everywhere, and every time they get closer and closer to the Jabberwocky, it's like impossible. Like, I would have had to have physically crossed space that you'd be able to see, and the audience is like, he's right there, he's right behind you, and you're like, I can't see you, audience.
It's maybe I'm too intent on keeping track of.
I want to point out, I still haven't picked a
Tim's.
side. I'm just stalking Roger because I hate him,
Well,
and he tried to kill me.
yep.
It's now open. Each of us can act one more time. Once everybody has gone, we begin the free-for-all's end.
I believe it's your move, Roger.
It is your move, Roger.
Roger, Roger.
Roger.
Who's your target, and what do you challenge them with?
All right, so focus on Ken. I heave you bodily off the ground, lift you up to smash you down again. Are you able to get out of my grip, and how?
You are also lit up at the moment.
Yeah.
He evaded that though.
Oh, he did. Yeah, you're right.
But the thing is, he had to use fusion power in order to do that.
Yeah,
Maybe he's running a little hot.
Energy resources to it.
Yeah.
So I'm your mech has some superior sort of it's put more resources into like something to be able to grab. So
It's an industrial mech, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
yeah.
Grabbing you, grappling you is pretty easy for this mech.
So I'm obviously pushing on that, but then I've also got my crew who are also ready to go, and they've grabbed onto your mech and have pulled you as well, and so that's how I get out.
So your crew's got mechs too?
Oh yeah. During the introduction, he set that up.
Okay.
So you literally pick him up off the ground and are about to slam him, and one of his dudes sails by and like grabs his mech's arm and goes flying off. He's ripped out of your grasp.
Yeah.
Connor, if you'd like to go next, or me or Bearded can go. I think I'll go if you're not gonna step up.
Go for it.
Roger, I'm on your back and I outmaneuver you at every turn. Can you shake me off? How? So from out of nowhere, from right behind you, I just pop up and I'm just like, Kincaid! And like everywhere you go, I'm like right in front of you. I'm not even running. I'm using my jets to just like stay ahead of you. You try to get away. Can you get away from me?
Am I still being held by his crew?
No, because his crew isn't holding you. They flew in and grabbed him and pulled him out.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I think so. This is a free-for-all answer, right?
Yep. I mean,
So,
you just answer yes or no. Can you get away from me? I've showed up out of nowhere and I outmaneuver you every turn. Can you shake me?
So I would say no, because your mech is more vulnerable. Mine's more of a tanky thing, and yours is more vulnerable.
Vulnerable? That is not a word that I would use. I would say it's maneuverable.
Maneuverable, thank you. Yes. All right.
So I enter the fray. I'm not firing any weapons. I'm just chasing Kincaid down, shouting his name loudly. Bearded Connor.
All right, I'm gonna be. So while you're pinning him,
I'm not pinning him. I'm chasing his ass down. Like out of nowhere, you were like, "Oh, I'm about to be thrown." Your dude's coming to grab you, and out of nowhere, this fox mech just shows up and is like, "Good!" He's running away, and I'm like, "No, come back!"
He's chasing. I'm evading.
My estate is being destroyed in the process of this, by the way.
trees flying everywhere.
I'm gonna use all that commotion to raise my rifle to Ken. I can put a shot into your reactor core, slice off your comms antenna, unhinge your knee, put out your eye. Do you avoid my shot, and how?
Oh shit!
One of my crew jumps in front with a shield, like he's a shield mech, and then blocks the shot. Because I was busy deciding what to do with Roger.
Is that shield now have like a fucking cantaloupe-sized hole in it?
Oh yes, yeah. The shield is basically done. It's a one-and-done type situation.
The person inside is basically done.
Yeah.
Connor, that leaves it to you.
Yeah, I'm going to break out the sword and start chasing him down. So I do blank. That's the maneuver, and I'm slicing at you.
Who are you chasing down?
Sorry, Roger.
Okay. You ask, can you survive it, dodge it, or hold me off? Which one do you ask?
Can you hold me off? And how?
So
With your sword?
while you're being chased by me, Eric Voss, Ken has showed up with a flaming sword and is trying to take you down. Can you hold him off long enough to get away? In the background, I'm just screaming, "Kincaid!"
So yeah, I'm gonna launch some missiles at your mech to try to stop your charge. So at Ken's mech.
Okay.
I throw out chafe, and it distracts all the missiles because you've got old style missiles, and I mean,
Yeah, but they're area of effect, so they explode and do concussive damage.
Okay.
Fire my magic missile.
So, Roger, it is back around to you. You ask the end. You narrate the end. So there are 4 possible endings. You pick the one that matches what has happened so far.
All right. So there's 4 or 3 possibles?
There are
right?
4 possible endings. They're back up on page 20.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's the last ends.
I guess there are 3 more down at the bottom as well.
Okay. Let me check these in.
I mean, I have some ideas of how this went down, but
Same.
I just want to check them all. Hold on. And
yeah,
continue.
go ahead. Let's ask some more questions. Bearded,
Yeah.
I want to know more about Talana.
All right.
What can you tell me? Like, college? Graduate?
Some schooling, mostly worked the land most of her life. Knows a lot about the terrain.
So, like, technical
and
school then?
like agricultural stuff.
Okay.
Also, really loved mobile frames as a child.
Glasses, contacts, or good eyesight?
Good eyesight.
Do you have any anime characteristic? One hair that sticks up, twin tails.
She has like one of those Band-Aid things right here.
Love it. Wow, I did not expect that one.
Nope.
It's good though.
They never do.
Robert,
Yeah,
you
Right,
gotta.
so I have a choice. Yeah, we
Yep.
fight to a bitter, bloody stalemate. At the end of the day, no one has prevailed, and we all have to retreat to lick our wounds.
Well, you fucking destroyed my goddamn property again.
Next time he's gonna come with a cloak and just pull his fingers out like this.
I believe that just leaves Connor, right? You're the only one that hasn't picked.
Right.
I believe so. Yeah.
I am going to have a conversation over food with you, Eric.
Oh my goodness.
So
Okay.
I've come to your. Can I set it up or?
Let's see here. Ask your chosen partner how you come to be eating together.
Okay. How did we come to be eating together?
I feel like I am eating at your. No, I wouldn't go to your place. You guys probably have military rations. I invite you to the capital to eat at a fine pastry shop.
Mhm.
Like there's a cake buffet going on, and I've set aside the whole like top floor for the 2 of us, It's just us and, you know, like my cousins and your men.
Yeah.
Other
Sounds-
players can join freely. Talana, I feel like Eric might have invited you as a date if he thought that you'd be into it.
Yeah, I'd go.
Okay. He still doesn't know you're a revolutionary unless you've told him yet.
Nope.
Nope. All right. Then you're just around in the background getting to eat unlimited cake. Unlimited cake works, really. You can butt in at any time.
Okay.
The person with the lowest social standings takes the first turn.
How do you want to evaluate social
I don't
standing?
know, because we're in an interesting situation. I'm like a high-ranking noble. As far as I can tell, I appear to be the only high-ranking noble on the entire planet. But you do own the land. So socially, I outrank you, but technically I should be deferring to you.
Right.
Yeah, since you're like going to his house.
So I suggest that we have somebody else pick who goes first.
Let's roll a d2.
There's Bearded. Bearded has picked, and he picked the whims of fate.
Right.
Go ahead, make your D2. Take your choice.
Finish
Well,
magic.
who's who?
Connor's 1 and AP's 2.
Connor's 1? How could Connor be number 1?
Because he always rolls terrible.
You rolled a 1.
I did roll 1. I'm sorry, I thought it was going to be a 2.
That's fine. This technically means that Connor's character has a lower social standing than me.
It's what
Ask
you
a topical
wanted, so-
question. Engage in improvised conversation. Pass saying something about the food or leave the conversation, Connor. What would Ken like to do?
I'm feeling generous. What do you ask of me?
Oh. Can I call you Ken?
You can call me Ken.
I want to know how you feel about this Roger Kincaid. Every time I see him, he's destroying my land. He's engaging in villainous tyranny, theft. I once held high hopes that he could be used to unite the people, but I feel like instead, he is a symbol of everything that is wrong with this situation. Do you agree?
I agree. Yeah, I think he's being erratic. I mean, I was on my way in to have a conversation with you the other week, and suddenly a fight broke out.
I recall. I was there. It was
yeah.
very upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, you have.
I had to do 2 hours of yoga after
I
that.
think if we can come to terms, we can reimburse you for that if you are willing to meet on some kind of ground politically to where we can cooperate.
I would like to conduct my side of the conversation by engaging in improvised conversation. So I'm going to invite Talana over temporarily and be like, Talana, come meet Mr. Kiyonoishi. Have you met him before?
I
We've
don't
met
think
at
I've
your
had the
properties.
pleasure.
Oh, right, the party, of course.
Yeah.
But were you introduced there?
Hello, Kenichi. My name is Talana, and I'll put out my hand.
Hello, Talana. And I shake it firmly.
Talana is a representative of the average citizens of Bantral. You ask me to meet you politically, and I say there is no space to meet you politically. Our views, all three of us, are aligned. We want what is best for Bantral.
Of course.
Yes, my ancestors and the people who supported them, the people of Bantral, once sold away the land rights. Is that fair now that we, all of us citizens of Bantral, must now work the land in the name of others who have no idea about our culture, our world? They do not understand us. I can't answer that question. I'm no philosopher. But I do know that Talana here is a worker in a mech that works hard every day. She tries to bring in Bantral in what I assume is a safe and eco-friendly manner. And I assume that you, Mr. Kunoishi, want that kind of safe, eco-friendly expansion. You've seen my estates, the beauty that is there, and I've showed you other scenic vistas around the planet, and I feel like there is common ground between us. What do you want from me politically? What more can you ask of me that I have not already given you? And as I say that, I I like point over at Talana as if like, this is the common people. This is who you have to answer this question to. What more do you want? But that's subtext. That's me like pointing. What more do you want, Mr. Kunoichi?
Well, we want to be able to conduct our business successfully. Right now, all these complications, this theft of your property and other people's property, it gets in the way of doing business. And I don't think that you like seeing your lands trodden on or destroyed. And we can ensure that doesn't happen. Now, this is just a matter of terms. We can all come to an agreement. There is no need for further contention. Labor can be paid, lands can be paid for, and contracts can be drawn up where you can be cut in.
Let me say this. You don't want to remain here for the rest of your life, do you? You're a shareholder. You have a business. You want to take your mercenary company somewhere else and continue living your life, gaining and reaping the benefits of your work here. But you don't want to live here, do you?
Precisely.
You need someone to remain behind that's in charge, capable of executing your vision, but with the ideals of the people of Bantral. And I feel there is no one more capable of executing that vision than the Voss House.
I think we can come to some terms. Yep.
Then let me say this, and I'm sure Talana here will agree, and again, I'm using her as like the people of Bantral. Talana here will agree. Under our noble guidance, we can perhaps not as much money as you would wish, but more than you'll ever have to spend. There's so much wealth on Bantral now. We do not need to stomp across the land. It can be maintained and harvested ecologically safe in a renewable manner. Our problem is the violent terrorist Roger Kincaid. And I turn and look at Talana to see that she's going to react like, Roger Kincaid, he keeps starting shit.
Yep.
What do you do, Talana?
I pretty much do just that. It's like the Vosses have been here for generations and have treated this planet with respect and not as a business. I believe they are the true leaders of this planet.
See, the people are behind me. Ken, let me call you Ken. We need to bring the people together and hunt down this Roger Kincaid. I thought he was the hope for the future. I thought that he would speak for these so-called revolutionaries who want to protect this planet. And it's clear that if you leave the planet in my hands, it will be protected. But he has committed crimes. They must be answered. I thought he could be a partner, but instead, he is a violent menace. Will you not engage in a military operation with me to, I don't want to kill him, capture Roger Kincaid and bring him to justice? I
want to bring all revolutionaries to justice.
Revolutionaries is such a broad term. I assure you that should you leave the planet in my hands, revolutionaries would disappear overnight. The common people, once their personal rights and stake in their work has been restored to nominal glory, will bother you no further. The so-called resistance is nothing more than a fleeting dream that has been brought about by Roger Kincaid. These people only want peace, security, and plentiful, bountiful Bantral, a beautiful Bantral.
I'll come over and like put my hand on your shoulder and lean on the chair you're sitting in, as sort of like a backup to your speech.
Roger Kincaid is the boogeyman. He is the face of the menace. Only he needs to fall.
Well, certainly, I will take you up on bringing him down right now.
If only we could find a member of this resistance who could tell us where he was. And with that, I will end my part of the conversation. Back to you, Connor. Ask a topic, engage in improvised role-playing, or talk about the fucking food. Or maybe you want to leave. I'm just saying, this cake is delicious. I'm eating a fucking rum coconut cake right here, man. This thing's been soaking for 6 months, and the dankest of rum.
You take a spoonful and I eat it off your fork.
Oh my god, you just in there, girl. Okay. Yep. I think Eric is surprised. He's like, "Oh, that's not protocol. Interesting."
Yeah, I think that's the end of the conversation there.
Very well.
That's the banterous way. Okay.
I think that, have we gone around for everybody again?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Do we want to take a break here real quick?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
All right. I didn't even know we'd get a break this time around. We went a little long. Look,
So interesting.
we'll be back in about 8 minutes for the second half. Is this Talana right here? It's got to be with the band.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, with the bang.
It looks so good. I love it.
8 minutes. The second half will continue. Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands. Can I blame Robert for everything and basically unite the planet in killing him? We'll find out in the second half. Stick around.